The biggest update for Star Citizen is getting ready to drop on November 19th. At the time of recording, which is November 18th, doesn't give people a lot of time to prepare for what is to come in the very, and I mean very near future. You probably don't even have 24 hours left to prepare all of your items, ship components, and also in-game bot ships for what is to come. But hey, that's what you got me for, to help educate y'all in how to properly prepare for a patch drop whenever one decides to poke his head around the corner. I am the biggest bird in the verse, aka FC, and I'd like to welcome everyone who is new to old back to my channel for another video. And today I'm going to show you guys how to prepare for a patch drop. But as usual, before we get started, I'd like to remind everyone that I am hosting a giveaway for a gray shiv with lifetime insurance and a Star Citizen game package. This also includes a CitizenCon goodie pack that includes armor, weapons, and a little bit of flair here and there for you to enjoy. All you gotta do in order to enter this giveaway is 1. Be a subscriber, and 2. Comment on any video I upload in between the time period of November 3rd through the 30th for a chance to win. I pretty much make one of these videos every time a major patch is going to drop into the verse. For us this time around, it is 4.4, which is our introduction to the Nick system. This is not going to be a light patch. This is going to be a major, huge update, so you should expect to lose a couple items, ships, and components. So in today's video, I'm going to show you guys my method that I usually use when I'm trying to save my items. Sometimes it works flawlessly, sometimes it doesn't. In most cases, out of all the stuff I have in the game, I may lose a suit of armor or 1 or 2 ships, which is usually never that bad, but it does suck when it happens. One of the steps that I always do at the beginning of preparation is I claim every ship that is in claim status, and the ones that are bought with in-game credits, I will call upon them, call them up on the lift, and then send them back down. This helps refresh them in your inventory slots. It makes sure that everything is good and well placed and on top of the list once the patch goes live. Also, make sure you unequip any component that is not stock, because when the patch goes live, the ships will reset to their stock form, which means anything like all the rare loot and guns and components, quantum drives and stuff like that will automatically get erased and be replaced by the stock components. This is the method I've been using ever since 4.1 initially dropped, and I haven't lost a single ship because of this method. I know that it may differ from person to person, maybe I'm just getting lucky, but in my case, this has worked for me. Now, when it comes to ship components, guns, and items, this is what I did the last 2 patches and it seemed to work. I didn't lose much of anything except for a couple guns that I totally forgot about and items that I actually didn't want to keep. If I had a bunch of random loot and things that were just cluttering up my inventory system that I didn't want no more, I didn't even bother with this next step. It works sometimes, but not all the time. So what I do is on my cargo lift within my hangar, I will call up all the specialized armor that I want to keep. You know, all of my Wicklow drops, just the cool stuff, the really cool guns and, the specialized items that I want to keep. That's not a part of your basic set. What I would do is I'll call them all up on the cargo lift, let it go up, let it sit there for about 30 seconds, and then I would sit it back down. What this does is it refreshes it in your inventory system, showing that it was interacted with recently and that it should be near the top of all of your items. Anything that's not interacted with should drop down to the bottom and possibly get deleted during the next patch. Now, this is a hit or miss. During the last patch, I told you guys to do this and I saw lots of comments of people saying that this worked phenomenally. So give it a try. It may not work, or it may work flawlessly. You just really don't know sometimes, just because of the way how the replication layer is implemented into the game currently, where things can be lost and or gained. For example, this patch when it first dropped 4.3.2, for some reason I spawned in and I had like 10,000 Luke's water bottles when I should have had like 2 or 3. And so I just laughed and I kept them. Didn't have to buy any, but something like that weird can happen. So just keep that in mind once the patch goes live tomorrow. Now for all of your specialized weapons and ship components that you have gathered from doing either contestant zones and or looted off of NPC ships, you should do the exact same thing. Call it up on the cargo elevator, let it sit there for about 30 seconds, and then send it back down. This does not work with items you may have bought off of players. Anything that has been duplicated will be erased. CIG is getting smart upon the duplication glitches that people are pulling in order to make a quick buck in game. If you happen to get your items from a player and you may not know they're duplicated or not, and you know the next patch comes around and it's gone, just know that that item most likely was a duplicated item. So just know you're not going to keep those. It's a lot better, in my opinion, if you go out into diverse contested zones or hunt down NPCs and locate these components yourself versus dealing with the player who may be selling you a duplicated item, because it's just going to disappear the next patch. But if you don't care, then obviously move along to the next step. Now, I must apologize to you guys. In previous patch preparation videos, I've always said to move your items to a home station, meaning Checkmate, Ruin, and Obituary, or a city hub, meaning Area 18, Lorville, Orson, or New Babbage. The reason why I'm telling you guys why you shouldn't move it from place to place anymore is because there is a high risk that you can lose the items that you're transporting from a multitude of reasons. One, you can get pirated from another player who just may wants to blast you. He can if he wants to. Technically, it's not griefing as long as he's out of armistice zone. He can do as he pleases. Two, you could hit something, asteroid, or you can slap the ground if you're not flying carefully. And then three, you can catch a server error, crash, or client crash as well. Nothing sucks more than having the game shut down on you, and then you try getting back in, and you're no longer inside of your ship. You don't want that to happen. So I suggest just leaving them on those other stations or locations that has bigger inventory systems. Just pull them up out of the inventory and your hangar and then send them back down, just so that they're on top of the line for the replication layer once it resets. That is the best advice I can give you for keeping your items when you have the opportunity to lose them. I also have one more step that you can try, mainly because it's something that I've done every single patch without actually realizing it. I've pretty much kept everything and haven't lost almost anything at all. There's two things you should do, actually, to be real with you. One, change your spawn location. I always pick a different location every patch. I usually always bounce between Checkmate and Orson. It's always different. When 4.4 drops, I'm picking Nyx, and I've never lost an item doing this, and I do believe this may help out in a way. And then another thing too, if you happen to spawn in, when 4.4 drops and you just happen to log in, you check your inventory and every single thing minus account bound items is gone. I highly recommend that you just don't mess with that inventory system. Go to a station or anywhere else, buy the basic armor and gears, go out, have some fun, store your items there, but don't put anything inside of your home location until at least 24 hours rotates, because sometimes people have so much stuff in their inventories that it just takes a while for it all to load up properly. But if you start throwing things into your home spawn location, then you may run into some issues, because now you're alienating it with new items when the old items are still loading into the system. I've had this happen with some people. People told me that this has happened. I told them to do this, and they waited and their items all popped back in. They had everything and they were happy again. So if you happen to have a huge amount of items, or even just 10% of what a homeworld can offer for storage, just give it a little bit of time, because you never know, it could pop back in. And if you do happen to lose everything, I'm sorry, that does suck, and there's nothing you can do about it, sadly. There's nothing you can do, sorry. It is what it is. But yeah, that is gonna be today's video. Again, you have less than 24 hours to prepare for the patch, which is dropping tomorrow. I'm excited for it. I'm curious how buggy it is gonna be, and I'm also curious how stable it's gonna be. I will be at Nyx during the drop, so only time will tell how bad and good it's gonna be. But please, tell me down below in the comments your process on how you prepare for a patch drop. Let me know your methods and what doesn't work with your trial and error testing over the years of playing Star Citizen with every single patch drop. But please, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. Please slap that like button, because it really does allow more eyes to see the biggest bird in the verse. But you guys already know who it is. It is FC, aka Fried Chicken. Big Bird out.